A lot of people have this notion that if they were able to leave where they currently are and be able to travel to some new distant land, that it would somehow fix their problems or fix them. I'm not sure how true that is. I thought about, dreamed about, talked about leaving Canada for at least 10 years, probably more, for a variety of different reasons. I love Canada. It has issues and problems like every other country that, can be dealt with in some way, shape, or form. But I always knew that Canada may not be a place for me to be able to, quote unquote, retire in. I never had some big cushy job that paid me a huge amount of money. I didn't have any kind of a pension. I was able to save money and do a little bit of investing. But the cost of living now in Canada is it's high, like it is in a lot of places. So, but I didn't have a real plan for leaving. It was just something I always talked about. And all of a sudden, a few months ago, the opportunity presented itself, somewhat surprisingly, somewhat shockingly. And all of a sudden, I was forced to make a decision, and I left. I have nowhere to live in Canada, so I'm traveling. And it's a dream. It's what I wanted to do. I've always been a bit of a wanderer, a free spirit, maybe. Not like some people. There's a scale of that, and I'm somewhere on that scale. So, yeah, can traveling fix you, heal you, make things right? Probably not. Let's be honest. Wherever you go, there you are. So yeah, I'm traveling. I'm wandering around. I'm in Southeast Asia. Right now I'm sitting in Da Nang, Vietnam. I love this city. So I'm staying here for a month. And I'm just living life. And on the surface, it's a dream. I get to wander around, semi-retired maybe. I don't know. And just figuring it out as I go. But what about that whole notion of travel is going to make you whole, and it's going to be so much better somewhere else other than where you are right now? I don't know how true that is. It's so tempting to think that just a change in scenery will fix everything, that it will magically solve your problems, whatever those problems might be. And at first that might seem true. You're in a new place, it's exciting, you're seeing all these new things, it's an adventure, and you feel different, of course. But that does wear off. You still have to be with yourself. If you struggled with certain issues at home, whatever those are, then those issues are going to come with you. You don't get to check them at the airport and leave them behind and wave bye-bye. That doesn't happen. It'd be nice if it did. They're going to come through customs with you. They're in your backpack. They're in you. So what's the next step? What do we do here? What am I even doing? Yeah, and I never thought that traveling was going to, quote unquote, fix me. I need to do work to deal with certain things that I think about or issues that I may have. And they're not bad issues. They're nothing crazy or serious. I just struggle with some low self-esteem and feelings of loneliness, maybe, feeling invisible, I don't know. But those are mine. What are yours? You can let me know if you want. And going to a new place isn't necessarily going to make all those things go away. And a lot of people think that they will. Now, there's this thing, the hedonic treadmill, where you want to go and buy, usually we think of it in regards to stuff, buying stuff, a shiny new car, some new electronics, clothing, shoes, whatever, it doesn't matter. Some people go to the extreme, and of course, it has to be a new house. You got the 2,000 square foot house, that was going to be it. I don't know. Now I think we probably could level up, 2,800 square feet. That's good for a few years, right? Now we need a pool and a hot tub. Maybe we need 3,200 square feet. And it just never ends. And that wears off. We have this baseline level of happiness or contentedness that we just always fall back to. It's the same with traveling. Travel is a shiny new thing. And the novelty of that wears off after a while. Still work. You still have to figure things out when you're on the road. And I'm just bouncing around. I don't even have anywhere to stay. You can't stay in these countries indefinitely unless you somehow can obtain work. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people do move to different countries for job opportunities, and hopefully that works out for them. I subscribe on Reddit to an Expat subreddit, and there are hundreds of posts on there from people who are convinced that leaving their country that they're in right now, their home country, and moving halfway across the world or wherever for work is going to be the best thing ever. And there's going to be so many opportunities. They're going to meet all these new people. They're going to be fit. They're going to eat healthy. And they're going to be social. And invariably, a lot of these people find out that never happens. It doesn't really work that way for whatever reason. They're the same person in the new country that they were in their home country. So, yeah. And look, of course, I watch YouTube videos, these travel vloggers. You've done it. You look at Instagram photos or whatever the hell else is on Instagram. I don't use it, so I don't know. And my God, the travel vlogs that these people do are incredible. The drone footage, the cinematic footage is amazing. Of course it looks spectacular, and it is. Travel is a good thing, and you should travel. And maybe you should move out of your home country. I don't know. But wherever you go, there you are. Travel isn't going to be some magic bullet that fixes all that ails you. Let's be realistic about that. You're the one that still needs to do some work, whatever that is. Reading, therapy, journaling, whatever it is that works. Meditation, yoga, silence. I don't know. All these things. So, yes, go forth, conquer, see the world. But just do your homework a little bit. Don't get wrapped up in this whole thing that things are magically going to be perfect. Travel can shake things loose. They can force you to sit with yourself. That's what it's done for me. It's allowed me an opportunity to maybe dig a little deeper than I have over the last 10 or 15 years. At least I'm starting to do that. I'm not going crazy with it, not yet, but I am asking myself some interesting questions. Yeah, what do you think? Maybe I'll come back to this. Maybe there's more in my head, this giant head of mine. See, there's an issue, that I have, that I need to work through right there. That's been with me my whole life, and I'm working through that issue. I'm trying to anyway. Okay, I'll see you on the next one.